This is it.
Go ahead and change your attitude and find joy in every part of what you do.
Studies show it takes more than 10 positive comments to overcome one negative comment.
So we are in the car on the way to the airport. Mark is eating his breakfast over there. I've got my green smoothie to stay healthy. He's got his hash browns to not stay healthy. So we're on our way up to the airport and Alright, so I'm walking to the venue. We only stayed about 5 minutes away from the venue, so I could get the real New York experience of walking here by walking into the venue right now, and I'll show you guys inside. So we just finished with rehearsal. Now you guys can see Seth Godin's up there practicing and doing his thing, and I'm just getting ready to go up, kind of getting into my headspace and a good little vibe. I just changed into my outfit. I'm excited to hear Seth Godin speak and the other speakers before me.
LBP family, when I say welcome.
While we're waiting for them to get the slides, I gotta tell you, sometimes it's tricky to figure out if you're at the right venue, especially in New York, there's so much going on. There was no challenge finding this venue. All I had to do was follow the long parade of beautifully coiffed, beautifully laid out people. I'm thrilled to be here. And one of the reasons I came is to talk about golf. And I hope we can admit that golf is the worst spectator sport. And there are two reasons for this. The first reason, as you know, is nothing good ever happens. And the second reason is that if something good does happen, you're not allowed to wildly raucously applaud. There's that stupid little golf clap. So just help me out. Do the worst golf clap you can imagine. Really bad golf. Terrible. Thank you. Can you double it? Can you double it again? That's what you do for a living. That what you do for a living, what I do for a living, is find small little threads of needs and wants and desires and connect them and amplify them and then do it again. And while you're doing it in 2017 in this environment we live in, it's tempting to think that the way to do it is to just keep pedaling harder, to keep doing what you're doing, to work more hours, to click more buttons, to cut more hair. And so this is actual footage from a bike race in Italy. And what you'll see is this guy's in last place, and he decides that there might be a different way to do it. It's possible that other people are doing it wrong. And these other people, they're working as hard as they can. It doesn't matter, because the fact is, if you don't see it, you're just going to get stuck. So that's my job, to help you see it. Consider this, I don't know if you would like me growing up with bats and dinosaurs and stuff like that when you were little. Here's a bat, right? But if you take a bat and turn him upside down, he's not a bat, he's a badass. Here are 3 bats getting ready for bed, but they're not actually getting ready for bed, they're at a cocktail party. So if I do my job right, you're never going to see a bat exactly the same way again. We're going to try to address that when it comes to this idea of what's happening in the world outside, with digital, with connection, and with the economy that we live in now. That if you can see it clearly, you can get a lot done. But most people can't. Most people have this blurry vision because they see what they want to see. Some people in your industry say, here's a blank slate, what will I build? Some people say, what do I already know how to do? And that's the shift that we're trying for. If you can find a job where your joy, your skill, and your need overlap, you win. That's what we're seeking. And there's a shortcut to get there. And the shortcut has 2 parts. Part number 1, go ahead and change your attitude and find joy in every part of what you do, because you don't have to do this. And number 2, get serious about what you're not good at and invest to get good at this stuff. That if you're half-assing it in social media, if you're half-assing it in financial planning, if you're half-assing it in the way that you're dealing with real estate, it's no wonder it's frustrating to you. But there are people who aren't even as smart as you who have figured it all out because they've invested. It's going to cost you time. It might even cost you money. But if you can find how all 3 of these things overlap, then you're living this life of contribution. And I'm arguing the way you're going to get there is by understanding what we do for a living.
So I was here and I had the opportunity to be a speaker last year. And so when I was asked to present as speaker, I thought, what an amazing opportunity to kind of hand over the reins to someone who's worked so hard, who I've had the personal pleasure of watching grow on social media, someone who is sweet and kind and amazing and puts all of her heart into everything she does. So I'm going to introduce someone to you who is someone who is one of my favorite people. Her name is Jamie, and she's going to come up here and share with you her story and sort of give you guys some insight and talk to you guys about her business and what she's doing. So, Jamie.
So I want to know by show of hands, how many of you at some point in your life have had somebody say a negative comment to you? All right, pretty much everyone in this room, you guys can put your hands down. Studies show it takes more than 10 positive comments to overcome 1 negative comment. As you guys can see, looking around the room, most of you guys have experienced this at some point in your life. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago you got a negative comment on your Instagram photo, which Seth Godin tells to ignore you. Or maybe it was something that somebody said to you years ago. Maybe it's taken a few more than 10 positive comments to overcome that one. I actually got a negative comment the other day. 2 days ago, as I'm preparing for this, I got an email from somebody saying, I say the word literally way too much. I really wanted to write them back and say, thank you so much, I literally had no idea. But I didn't. So whatever the case is for you, I want to share with you my story. So I was raised in Orange County, California, and unlike most kids, I was actually homeschooled my entire life. The funny thing to me is, at the time, I didn't realize there was anything different about me than other kids, but homeschooling just wasn't as popular as it is now. Now apparently it's a cool hipster thing to do, but back then, homeschooling was thought of as, well, homeschoolers. You know, the family with 14 kids, drive a big white van, socially awkward, wear floor-length dresses, maybe looking a little Amish, but not my family. We somehow managed to avoid all that. So as I was homeschooled, I was actually able to graduate high school early, and I graduated at the age of 16. And because I graduated early, I knew that I wanted to go and do something creative and not do a normal corporate job or work a normal boring office job or go to normal college. So my mom suggested that I try going to beauty school because at least, even if I didn't do it as a living, I could always cut my kids and my husband's hair. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I married a bald guy and I don't want kids. But I guess she still knew what she was talking about. So right after high school, I went straight to beauty school, and I went into beauty school, and actually when I was in beauty school, I got bullied and harassed by one of the instructors there. Pretty much because I like to follow the rules. Now I will admit, I was a little bit of a teacher's pet, and I always had to have the right answer, because my nerdy homeschooler stuff was coming out. But I didn't let her bullying or harassing get to me. I actually took extra hours, and I graduated a month and a half sooner than anybody else in my class. After that, I went straight on to work at a salon at the age of 17, worked as an assistant, and then worked my way up into commission. And then finally, I ended up going to rental. I've always been super business-minded and entrepreneurial-minded, and at the time, I actually started to use social media to grow and promote my business. Now, Facebook was just becoming a thing, and Instagram was starting out, so I was taking before and after photos with my clients, posting on Instagram, sharing new techniques I found out about on Instagram, doing all the things that we do now. My boss and coworkers started to take notice, but not in a good way. They started to look at me like I was a weirdo. They would say things like, "Why are you taking photos of that client? Are you going to share that on your Instagram?" Or I'd tell them about an event or a class I was going to, like this one, and they would say things like, "Why are you so excited about that event? Who are those people anyways, your Instagram friends? You're getting excited about a hair class for nothing." They would passive-aggressively make fun of me for wanting to do new things in my business, for wanting to strive and do more things than what they ever thought I could. They were basically passive-aggressively making fun of me for doing something different than what they were doing. So after a couple years of working at the salon, it became apparent to me that it was becoming more and more of a negative environment. I would actually go in every day telling myself to be positive no matter what. The owner would talk about stylists behind their back, and when negativity starts at the top, it starts to trickle down. So soon the back room became a place of negative bitching and complaining like a lot of back room environments do. Over time, it only got worse. So I would actually, instead of going in the back room and hanging out with the other stylists, I would sit outside while my clients were processing in order to get away from the negativity that was swarming around me. I knew I wanted to leave and I wanted to do something different, so thankfully around that time the whole salon suite concept was just starting out. I loved the idea because I could run my business the way I wanted to and not have to be around negativity and passive aggressiveness all the time. Heck yes, sign me up. So I decided to pursue that route and I opened my own salon suite. The saddest thing that happened to me when I decided to do that was I told my salon owner, and I actually gave him a month's notice so that he could start to look for somebody to fill my chair. He once again, though, passive-aggressively made fun of the whole salon suite concept, calling it basically an office cubicle. I was heartbroken. I felt like I had just got engaged and I went to tell my parents, but they weren't excited for me. I even thought that I had left the salon on good terms, but in actuality, most of the stylists unfollowed me from Instagram. They started talking badly behind my back and even tried to take some of my clients. You know what? Their actions made me want to push harder in my business. It made me want to go beyond what they ever thought I could do. So once I moved into my salon suite and left the negativity I was surrounded with, my business started to explode. My Instagram was bringing in 3 to 4 new clients a week. And the thing that they made fun of was making my business just brutal. Instead of getting clients that I, had to get from walk-ins, I was actually getting clients I wanted to have in my chair. No more Carols with a 6-cent root touch-up who would always tell me how to blow dry their bangs. Instead, I was getting those who I wanted to have in my chair. Clients who valued my work, what I do, and who I actually enjoyed spending time with. Girls who knew what a balayage was and how to actually pronounce balayage. So once my Instagram and clientele started to grow, I actually decided to shift my focus from growing my in-salon clientele to becoming an industry educator. So I decided to change things around and started to talk to hairdressers and really decided to go after that. As I started along the path of growing my business and refining my mission and core values, I realized that I didn't want to become an industry influencer to get me famous or to get myself known. I wanted to be an industry influencer or educator to help other stylists who were maybe in a similar situation I was in at my last salon. I wanted to be there to encourage them and let them know that they're not the weirdos. I took the thing that was my struggle, the thing I got made fun of for, the thing I got bullied for, the times I got excluded and turned away, and I turned those into my mission to help encourage and empower other stylists who wanted to grow their businesses just like I do. So what does this look like for you listening to my story? Now, I'll be totally honest, when I got the call to speak at this event, I was so excited I actually cried when I got the call. In fact, last year I came to this event and I sat up front in that seat, actually. And I was such like the overachiever nerd, had to sit right up front. But I was so excited and I was so nervous though. What could I talk about that would help other stylists who have been doing this for 30 plus years? Stylists who have way more Instagram followers than I do, or salon owners who own huge successful salons, some even in multiple locations. I've only been licensed for 7 years, and I just turned 25 last week, so I feel like a major baby in this industry, and even in life. How can I give advice to them? You know what? I realize it's not about worrying what others think. It's about showing up and striving to help even just one person. So let me ask you, what is something that you struggle with? What is something you've been made fun of for? What is something that sticks out in your mind that people just didn't quite understand? I want you to take that thing and turn it into something positive to impact even just one person's life. Because I was bullied, excluded, turned away, I didn't want others to feel like that. It sucks to feel like you're lower than someone else. And I didn't want the people in my life to feel like that. So I started to think, how can I make others feel included, supported, heard? I started to realize that I could use my business and my social media to do that. But what did that look like? So on social media, I decided that I was going to share my struggles as a stylist, as an educator, as a business owner. Share what I'm currently going through and share the things that I'm struggling with now and in the past. I decided to also connect with other stylists by commenting on people's Instagrams or sending out DMs or even just commenting back to the people that commented on my photos. I decided to empower them, and I became very intentional about going out of my way. I wanted to create a space for them to feel heard, to feel not alone, and ultimately to feel encouraged. I get messages all the time from stylists that I've touched, and they say how much a message or a post I posted meant to them, or how much they've learned from something that I've gone through. And to me, that brings me so much joy. Last year, I actually created an online course called OPOP Brand that teaches hairstylists how to use Instagram to grow their business. I realized that there was a huge need in our industry for good, solid business education, and that there were stylists out there who were hungry to grow, but just didn't know how. I created it for stylists who wanted to grow, but just needed somebody in their life to push them in the right direction. For stylists who wanted somebody to look up to and to help them when they felt misunderstood, when everyone around them looked at them like they were the weirdos. I created it for them. I also didn't want my hair community to only live online, so I started to think of ways that I could get involved in my local hair community. So one of my friends, Piper DeYoung, started an event called Blend SoCal. It's a monthly meetup of hairstylists and makeup artists in Southern California. We meet every month to hear somebody talk about business. The coolest thing to me when I go to these events is not only just seeing stylists come to learn about business and grow their business, but to see them connect with each other, to network, to connect and share their struggles, share their wins with each other, and ultimately to get fed and to be friends with one another. Creating a community is something that I'm super passionate about. I love the phrase community over competition by Natalie Furning. It speaks so much to my core value that stem from being made fun of, being thought of as weird or different, being left out, excluded. I started to use that phrase on social media to help spread that message to our industry. Seeing how it's already spread just makes me so excited to see stylists using that phrase, community over competition, bringing each other together and not worrying about what others think. So I want to challenge you to really think about your past struggles and trials and figure out how you can impact others' lives through your journey. What would that look like for you? I would encourage you on social media to go out of your way and post 10 uplifting comments on someone's photo. Or you can even go a little further and send someone a DM that you notice their work and just tell them that they're seen. Say how much you have seen what they're doing and see what what they've been up to. As a salon owner, this could be something like hosting a Monday morning coffee date at your salon and just opening it up to local stylists and other salon owners in the area to connect with them. This could even be as simple as helping out a stylist that you work with by sharing your knowledge with them, or sharing a new technique or a new way to take an Instagram photo, or even as simple as commenting on their Instagram to show that you're being supportive. Just being encouraging and uplifting can go a long way. Living out true community over competition can come in many forms, but I promise you that when you go out of your way to encourage and impact others, you will grow in ways you never could imagine. Sometimes even a small compliment or gesture can not just make someone's day, but can change their life. I get a lot of people that ask me what made me want to become an educator, and it all stemmed from a word of encouragement I got years ago from somebody. So about a year into my career, I had a cutting class at my salon, and the educator was from England. I remember listening really closely and paying real close attention, and I must have, in my nerdy homeschooler fashion, asked a few too many questions, because at the end of class, the educator came up to me and said, "Wow, you seem really interested. You should be an educator. I can tell that you'd be really good at it." I was shocked when he said that because I never thought about becoming an educator. No one in my salon was an educator, and they never wanted to be. In fact, they always said that going into education would ruin your career. But his comment changed mine. I'm sure that educator doesn't remember me or the salon that I worked at, but I remember that educator. So in closing, I want you to be thinking about after this conference, after you go home, and think about what can you do that would make a positive impact in other people's lives. By turning that struggle into something that helps others grow, you will grow too. I took my past struggles, turned them into positivity, showed up, and strived to help even just one person. So let me ask you, who are you going to impact today? Thank you.
Because Jamie killed it. I'm so proud of her today.
likes to sit in the window, and I like to sit on the aisle. So we have a random seat in between us, and we're always hoping that somebody doesn't pick it, but usually there's somebody that's gonna pick it. We just make them feel awkward the whole time. So score, we got the extra seat open in between us. That like never happens. It always happens like when I'm with him, never by myself.
Unheard of.
Yeah.